the best remixes we've seen come out when there's a genuine interest for the song.
Yeah.
It's not because of the paycheck I'm picking up. It's because I genuinely like this song.
Because you're going to pick up a paycheck if this remix even becomes successful.
Bad on both sides. You know, lockdown has been a very difficult time for everybody.
Absolutely.
Lockdown has been lonely. We at date 5 from date 1. So you don't even get to assess people properly. Next thing you know, you're professing love and feelings to each other.
Lockdown, I feel like boys are bored. I feel like boys as well are out here going to girls' house to house to house. I've tried it and I can't do it anymore. I'm actually done.
Say.
Yeah, baby.
It is your loneliness that has now
allowed you to mingle with some of the guys that you shouldn't be mingling with.
And not pay attention to the things that you normally have paid attention to. It's tough out here in these streets. Shout out to the married ones. You don't know what you're missing. You don't know what you've missed or what the bullets you dodged.
You're listening to Adesope Live, the Afrobeats Podcast.
Welcome to a brand new edition of Adesope Live, the official Afrobeats Podcast. I'm Adesope Olajide, and this is where we discuss all the Afropop culture headlines, where I break it down and give you my opinions with a guest in tow every single week. You can catch us everywhere on Spotify, YouTube, Apple. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. You do the most. We appreciate every single message that you're sending to us. And if you're in the UK, you can also catch us on Saturdays on Yanga TV at 7:30 p.m. and on Mondays a repeat on Yanga TV Sky 186 and Freeview 171 at 7 p.m. on Monday. Now, joining me to break down some of this week's headlines in the Afropop culture is a former colleague / producer of mine. We went back and forth, toe-to-toe, on For the Love of Afrobeats podcast for over a year and a bit. It's the one they call Mr. Schmooze, a.k.a. Damola. What's going on, brother? It looked like we could never make this happen again.
Well, I mean, we're here now, and that's what matters.
That's what
and
matters,
it feels good to be, back in the seat with the energy god.
Absolutely,
thank you for having me.
Nah, man, thank you very much for coming through. First of all, what have you been doing during this pandemic? How has it been?
I've been trying my best.
I've been trying my best. I see the beard joining the beard gang, man.
It has to come out. If anybody that doesn't grow beard at this time in this lockdown, it's never happening for you. I'm sorry to break it to you.
You've got more time to oil it,
care for it. Pray that it keeps growing. But we've been doing good.
That's great, brother. Now let's check some of the headlines that we'll be looking at this week. First of all, South African star MasterKG says, "I didn't pay Burna Boy for the collaboration on Jerusalema remix." Nigerian DJ Copy suing Israel DMW for defamation. Kenyan comedian Eric Omondi lost millions of endorsements due to his scripted show titled Wife Material. And Ghanaian star Shatta Wale makes the headlines, of course, for back and forth with a lady in Ghana and lots more. My brother, let's get into this. Now, we start in South Africa, where Jerusalema hitmaker MasterKG revealed during an interview that money didn't exchange hands with Burna Boy for jumping on the remix of the smash single Jerusalema. The original version has now surpassed 300 million views on YouTube.
Big numbers.
Absolute numbers there, becoming the first African pop act to reach that feat. Now, the remix with Burna Boy has gone on to do incredibly well on streaming platforms as well, with millions of views on YouTube, as well as extending the lifespan of the hit.
Yeah.
Now, when Burna Boy was riding high in the charts around the world, he jumped on the remix, and it left people thinking that MasterKG had paid for the feature, but the star said that that never happened, and Burna was already a fan of the hit record. Now, let's talk about it. Jerusalema continues to break records around the world. I think it was number 1 on the Afrobeats chart in the UK for probably about 6 weeks or something ridiculous like that. A very, very long time.
And dominated charts across Africa as well.
Absolutely. 300 million views on YouTube also shows how incredibly well it's done. If you look at the closest other videos and songs to that on YouTube would be the likes of Davido and Burna Boy, Yemi Alade, Runtown, and Pana, and all of them still below 200 million views. So
that is a very, very successful song.
Exactly.
Just for context.
Yes. So now the remix happened. Burna Boy obviously jumped on the remix, expanded the popularity of the song into Western Africa, particularly Nigeria and Ghana. Also gave it more life in the UK and stuff like that. And people started to talk that maybe he had paid for the feature. I think first of all, what are your thoughts about the whole story and the record in itself?
I think there are three things I'd like to point out here. The first thing here is, this is what your remix should be. This is what a remix should be. When you remix a song, it's supposed to increase either the lifespan of the song or, give you even more visibility, introduce you to new audiences. And this remix did exactly that.
Facts.
I'd never heard of I'd never listened to the first version of the song, like most other people in West Africa at the time. But then when Burna Boy jumped on it, it brought my attention. And I then went to look at the original one. And that's what a remix should be. And this is a very successful remix in that regard. Second part is that Master KG highlighted money didn't exchange hands. It is normal practice in the industry for, money to exchange hand for remixes. There's nothing abnormal about it. But the best remixes we've seen come out when there's a genuine interest for the song. It's not because of the paycheck I'm picking up. It's because I genuinely like this song.
Because you're going to pick up a paycheck if this remix even becomes successful.
Exactly. And that's how great songs come about. That's when, like you said, it becomes more organic. And then finally, we also need to see here that Jerusalema remix, it is an amazing song. It just shows you the variety of sounds in Africa. It also shows you the range Burna Boy has as well. So I think this is really great news.
And I also wanted to stress, just to buttress your point, that a lot of people need to understand that with regards to remixes as well, regardless of whether a Burna Boy or a different artist is in a different world, high up in the star sphere or whatever, he can also choose when he sees a song that's catching steam and he knows that this record is doing numbers. He would also, and if he likes the record, they reach out. That's what the likes of Drake does.
I was just going to say that. There's two examples there. Drake with, what's it called?
Ojuelegba
remix. And then we had Davido jumping on the Maserati. Was it
Yes,
Maserati remix?
Maserati
remix. He did it with Lighter as well. So, I mean, the best remixes, the best songs come out when there's a genuine interest.
Absolutely. And when the original song is catching steam, the bigger artist also sees it as an opportunity to also stretch, their fan base into the young up and coming, or maybe into a fan base world that he's probably not in. Burna Boy has also been successful with collaborations in South Africa. He had the one with AKA in the past. When he jumps,
he has a great relationship with South Africa. When they're behaving.
But I think they've fallen out of love in recent times. However, with Jerusalema again being on one of the biggest records to come out of Africa in the last 4 or 5 years, if not a decade, to be honest with you, it also just shows that, my man's ears are to the ground. Who out of Africa or the world wouldn't have loved to be on that Jerusalema
I'm telling
remix?
you, everyone. I wanted to be on the remix.
I'm telling you.
Even maybe in the background of the video, just...
Jerusalema. Absolutely.
Amazing.
So like Damola said, those are the different practices within the industry. They could jump, it could be money changing hands, or it could just be genuine fan base or genuine fans of a record and the record moving in itself, and you take advantage of that. Now, over to Nigeria, where the whatever happened between Copy and Zlatan story rumbles on. Last week's headlines were made when a close affiliate to Zlatan in Israel, DMW, made allegations that DJ Copy had not given Zlatan his dues for collaborating on a song with her, as well as Zlatan having to foot his bills when he traveled to Abuja to perform during DJ Copy's fundraising event for charity. Well, DJ Copy came back hard this past week with a post on social media that reads, and I quote, "For the record, there have been no breaches of my contractual agreement regarding the song #Gelato as confirmed by my lawyers. However, as Israel DMW publicly inaccurately declared, I owe an artist money. I am suing him for libel and defamation. See you in court, Israel. End quote. Well, that sent blogs and news platforms crazy, with one interesting comment was seen on Copy's post, and that was of superstar singer Davido, whom Israel DMW is a close affiliate of. Davido simply posted a comment, too late, on Copy's page. Mr. Schmooze, this story is in its probably 4th week. Initially, it was DJ Copy that revealed that she had been blocked by her friend. And weeks later, Zlatan showed up saying he didn't know who DJ Copy was. And a couple of days after, Israel DMW now spoke out saying, making allegations. And DJ Copy comes back hard with a lawsuit. What are your thoughts?
All right, there are 2 ways to look at this. Again, we can either look at this from a business point of view. And we can also look at this from a personal point of view. From a business point of view, allegations have been made to Copy's person, so her brand, that she's owing a fellow colleague money or she's not properly compensated a fellow colleague. And in the business world, when such allegations are made, there can be ramifications.
There can be consequences.
Other artists will maybe worry of working with Copy.
Or other brands that you're affiliated with might not be happy with the reputation that's been portrayed in the public.
That this is not somebody you want to do business with. And for that reason, there has to be, corrective, or should I say countermeasures taken. And that is what Copy has now done with the lawsuit. That's how you look at it from a business point of view. But now let's look at it from a personal point of view. That looks very drastic, if I must say. Because, that looks like trying to use a sledgehammer to, hit a fly. Yes, maybe Israel shouldn't have gone ahead to make those declarations in public, or those allegations in public. But I believe, Copy could have she could have reached out. There are plenty channels. She could have reached out to Israel and say, look, I do not appreciate what was said. Do you mind retracting that? But, going directly to do a lawsuit, I believe that was a bit too, I think that was 2 steps ahead of everybody else of what she could have done. And, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to prophesy, but we already know how this court case might end up. It might be a settle out of court, and at the end of the day, you still get the apology you wanted anyway. So I don't know. That's how I feel.
For me, I think it's dangerous grounds for DJ Copy to walk in. DJ Copy is somebody that I'm a big fan of. I've been in her presence a couple of times. I spoke a couple of weeks ago about the fact that her alongside Davido, they don't get enough slack for coming from the backgrounds that they're from and being tenacious in the industry that they're in, trying to become successful off of their own backs.
They don't get enough credit.
And being tenacious, credit for being tenacious and hardworking. However, what DJ Copy has done within the music industry in Africa over the last 5, 6, 7 years is to try to prove to people that she is one of us. One of the people, regardless of her $1 billion background, she's just like everybody else. She has relationships with artists. She has relationship with media personalities. She's got a close friendship and a channel in Davido's camp. Her collaboration with Zlatan could possibly even be attributed
to that relationship,
to those type of relationships with the Davidos, the Asa Sikas, all of these guys. If she was, like you said, unhappy with the allegations that Israel DMW had put out in social media, perhaps there could have been channels to reach Israel and whoever felt that way to ensure that those statements were corrected, retracted, or, just adjusted to favor everybody. By going to court, and in her statement, let me read again what exactly she said. She said, there have been no breaches of my contractual agreement, with recording the song, regarding the song Gelato, as confirmed by my lawyers. But what about a moral agreement?
A verbal agreement.
Verbal agreement. Now you leave everybody's imaginations to go beyond those phrases.
Yep.
That's why, lawyers, with all due respect, they want to earn a check.
They will. That's what they're there for.
They're here to earn a check.
Yep.
And yes, to protect you legally, but they also have to understand at situations like this that there are personal implications, relationship implications.
Fallouts.
That will come from such a drastic action. Now, to the public, guess what? Israel DMW to court. Do you know who's going to pay for Israel's?
Of course.
Who's going to pay for it?
Of course, it's David behind them.
David.
You know?
He's going to pay for Israel's court case. David is managed by a former boyfriend of DJ Copy, who still is a great friend to her today. So, you've already dragged family into this situation.
Yeah.
And then you also have to think, for Zlatan to have felt the way he felt and said publicly what he had said, that he didn't know who DJ Copy was, having been in and around the likes of David and Co for a long time, you should also think of why Zlatan is saying this and how he's felt for him to come out and say this. I personally would have actually reached out to Zlatan.
I mean, now that you said that, I was also just thinking now as well. When we look back to the genesis of all of this drama, Copy brought it to the public.
To the table. Yep.
Zlatan didn't say anything.
Nothing.
We didn't know anything was going on.
And he wouldn't have said anything.
Until she said that.
Yep.
He blocked her. And then Zlatan was asked about it in an interview.
And he had to say
and
something.
Then now Israel's having to say something on social media. So again, this could have all been avoided or handled
if she had
reached out to the right channels.
Rather than go to social media, that Zlatan had blocked her.
Once you take things to social media, lesson to be learned here. Once you go to social media, you can't control what happens after that. And then it will just be a series of reactions, counter reactions, and at the end of the day, nobody's happy. So learn to, let's talk about it first before it goes out.
Absolutely.
I think on that note, let's just leave it.
Yeah, let's just leave that. But something tells me that we'll be hearing a lot more about this story going forward.
This is week 4. So
exactly.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, over to East Africa, Kenya to be exact, where superstar comedian Eric Omonde revealed during an interview this week that his scripted reality show, Wife Material, cost him millions in endorsements as brands pulled out of supporting him. He said brands specifically told him that they were family-oriented and didn't approve of him kissing girls on screen like that, all in the name of searching for a bride. Well, Eric also said he found new sponsors and most of all, followers, as his social media following grew incredibly because of the show. He also said when he revealed that the program was scripted, fans and followers were disappointed as they felt it was real and that some of them had resorted to praying
no lies there.
for a happy married life with him and the chosen lady named Carol. We also have to remind our listeners and our viewers as well that when the show launched a few months back, the chairman of the film board in Kenya demanded the arrest of Eric, claiming his content wasn't fit for broadcast and he was breaching the rules in Kenya. We reported here on Adesope Live, the Afrobeats podcast. Of course, that the chairman of the film board in Kenya was disappointed. He felt the content was just disgusting and he should be arrested for breaking the law. It went so bad that the building that Eric Omonde had hired for his filming, they ejected him from that building within days.
Nobody wants smoke from the government.
But let's go back to this story. The fact that Eric lost endorsements for the reality show that he put out, Searching for a Bride, which had scenes of him obviously kissing a couple of the ladies and stuff like that. People felt he had taken advantage of him. But him coming out now that it was a scripted show meant that some of the ladies were also acting. Yeah,
but most of it was probably acting.
So talk to me about your thoughts.
Well, when I saw that headline initially, I thought, what was he filming? What was in this series? And then I went on YouTube and I went to look it up. And essentially it's just him. It's a dating show. He's looking for his bride, and there's it's pretty much Bachelorette.
Yes.
In a urban
African
young playboy setting. And it reminded me of I don't know, for some viewers might remember Flavor Flav back in the day.
Flavor of Love.
He had a similar series where he was looking for what's it called?
Yep.
He was looking for a girlfriend or a wife.
That was where New York came into the play.
Exactly. Yeah. So I watched the series and it's quite popular, and like you rightly said, people are invested in it. I'm seeing comments where if you don't pick her, then send her my number. Yeah, this one is humble. This is the one that must go. So yeah, people were truly invested in it, and the numbers are there.
Yeah.
So it was a success by that standard.
Yes.
But then again, this whole situation here reminds us one thing. Kenya, yes, is officially a secular country.
Yep.
In the sense that you're free to do what you want and practice how you want. However, it's still very conservative. There's still a moral, very strong conservative undertone, or should I say backbone, so to speak. The board calling for his arrest, I believe, is too drastic. It's ridiculous because, again, it's not like he's done any. From what I saw, there's no nudity in there. There's no explicit
content in there.
Content in there. The worst I saw there was him kissing different ladies in different episodes. And last time I checked, that was not a crime. So really, I think that's overboard.
What about the brands? What about brands in Kenya also pulling out from sponsoring Eric Omonde, saying that they were family orientated and some of those kissing scenes were a little bit for them, and they couldn't back that?
Again, it goes back to what I was saying about Kenya being a conservative society when it's all said and done. At the end of the day, these brands, these sponsors, these are the people they are selling their products to. So if their audience or their target audience is family orientated, they cannot be seen to be affiliated with an artist who, in the eyes of their society, the local society, is, what's the word, seen as bad.
Yeah, just being flagrant.
Yeah, being flagrant.
Yeah.
So I understand that from a brand perspective. It is sad that Eric had to deal with that difficulty, but this is the reality of the society in which, or the environment in which he operates. And that is always my advice to creatives as well, or entertainers. Be aware of your environment.
Read the room.
Read the room, exactly. Read the room and adjust accordingly. Adjust your content accordingly. It's similar to when Tiwa Savage had the video back in the day.
Wanted.
And
I loved the video.
The video was brilliant.
I thought it was dope. Shout out to my brother Momusa for shooting that.
It was dope. And in the video, for people that can remember, she was
had
wearing
patches.
a nude-colored, it was
Clothing,
nude-colored
but
clothing.
she had patches covering.
We've seen worse on MTV.
I mean, we've seen worse with Rihanna and
Beyonce.
Facts.
And they played that on Nigerian TV stations.
Facts.
But because it was our own person that did it at the time, we didn't want to accept
didn't want to hear it.
You know, and I remember the backlash she got at the time.
It was crazy.
But she's still here today.
Yeah.
And Tiwa still does her thing.
And she's still top on the charts.
She's still topping the charts.
Yeah.
So read the room, adjust accordingly.
What if that disturbs, now speaking on behalf of the creatives now, what about the restraints or the constraints it puts on the creative mind when you really want to do certain things, but you feel like you're being held back by sponsors putting bread on the table and the risks of losing money. You know, what kind of, how do you expect the creatives to flourish at their best if they're thinking about bread and butter?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the challenge creatives will always have. Do you want to keep creating the art you like, or do you want to create the art that would pay you? That's the question you need to ask yourself. If you want to create the art that you like, then you have to think creatively as well. How can I then monetize this? Am I going to go and build my own sort of platform somewhere and grow my own niche following somewhere? Maybe I have my own audience buying my merchandise or subscribing for my content. Then I know this is where I'm getting my money from. But if I'm going to do something for mass consumption, then I need to also tailor it for mass appeal, so to speak. So those are the questions you need to ask yourself as a creative or as an entertainer.
Well, Eric Omonde has now become the most followed personality in Kenya on social media. His comedy skits and has gone beyond the walls of Kenya, is in the UK. I think one of the ones I found ridiculously funny was when he was selling Premier League jerseys, and he was selling, Arsenal, he was in the street market, Arsenal, Liverpool.
I saw a snippet of that one.
And he pulled out the Manchester United jersey, and nobody wanted a piece of that,
No Manchester United slander will be tolerated. On that note, I might just withdraw my support for you, Eric.
He's done quite a couple. I've seen him on the mountains as well, dressed in like Man United jersey where they were playing. They went to see like a voodoo master.
Really, Eric? Really?
That was supposed to help us win a match then. And the result came back because we lost to Man City badly. Anyway, over to the United States of America, where former Tiwa Savage manager and music executive T. Bills caught the headlines from. He shared on his social media this week that he got $1 million on Tiwa Savage in a versus battle to defeat anybody from 1900 to 2021. He went further by saying nobody can hang with Tiwa Savage, not your Burners, not your Wiz, nor your David O's. And Tiwa basically deserves the respect that she is not getting within the industry. He finished with saying he dropped his gun about a decade ago, but will pick it up if anyone disrespects the Queen Tiwa Savage. Well, a few minutes after the infamous post, T-Bills deleted the post, but it was too late for the blogs and news platforms who already shared the content, getting it trending worldwide.
From the moment you hit posts, it is too late.
It's gone.
1 second is too much. All it takes is a screenshot.
Exactly, especially when you're a popular figure like that. Where do we go with this one? Well, T-Bills, for anybody that doesn't know, used to manage Tiwa Savage. They were married. They have a
child together,
a wonderful son together.
Yeah.
And obviously they went their different ways. But in recent times, we've seen, great visuals that show the family have somehow at least rekindled a certain form of relationship because of their handsome son. But T-Bills woke up in the early hours during the week and decided to go hard that he had $1 million in Tiwa Savage defeating anybody from 1900 to 2021. What are your thoughts?
The thing is, when I saw that post, I stared at it for a couple of minutes. Honestly, I stared at it for a couple of minutes, thinking, what is he trying to achieve here? Is he trying to invoke a challenge? Did somebody provoke that post?
Yep.
Did somebody say something to Tiwa? I just couldn't give myself an answer. And,
those were the same questions I asked myself.
People came in the comments and were throwing names. You know what? First things first. Tiwa Savage, legend.
Absolutely.
We can't dispute
Top
that.
class.
She's top of the line.
Iconic.
She is up there with our David and Wizkid and
Facts.
Burna. She is right up there.
Facts.
Along with
Facts.
Yemi Alade.
Facts.
She's right up there.
Facts.
So nobody's disputing that.
Yeah.
But then to do a post like that, I mean, what are we looking to achieve? That is the question here.
When I saw the post, just like you said, I stared at it for a couple of minutes. I thought to myself, maybe somebody had said something to either him or maybe he got some sort of energy from Tiwa that she perhaps she felt like she wasn't getting the credit that she was due within the industry. And I'll be honest with you, I don't believe any of the women within the Afrobeats industry gets the credit they deserve.
Facts.
So that's not headline news. Nobody gives them the credit they deserve for not only their longevity at the top of the music game, but also their consistency when it comes to creating incredible content and really tussling it out in a man's world.
Most of our top female artists
absolutely
have more albums out than our top 5 put together. Males
artists
put together.
And that's facts. Go check that out.
Go check that out.
That put to the side, coming from a former manager and an affiliate of Tiwa Savage, throwing down the gauntlet about $1 million on the table, I felt maybe he was trying to, throw a bone to the likes of Apple, Versus, and saying, listen, man, you're doing this dancehall thing. You've done hip-hop and R&B. Why don't you come to Africa and do some Afrobeats thing? And here is, a queen here. We're starting to stoke up something. That's a great move. Where it went left for me was when the name calling started. Your Burners, your Wiz, your David O's. Once that came into the conversation, I think whatever he was trying to achieve by the initial post, he lost it there.
Exactly.
Because instantly what happens is you invoke, you
invite some negative energy into that.
The negative energies come running in.
Yeah.
And I believe that's probably what made him drop the post within a couple of minutes. Because the negative energy instantly went not only into his DMs, but went straight into his comments.
Section.
People start talking to you crazy and start affiliating you back with Tiwa Savage. Unfortunately, maybe the young lady is just somewhere chilling, taking a time away from music or whatever. All of a sudden, she's getting phone calls and messages that, yo, man, your ex-manager out here talking crazy to them Burna and Wiz and Davido. The good thing is, though, neither Burna, David, or Wiz reacted to anything.
There was a reaction I did see that I liked.
Which one?
Yemi Alade's manager, Taye Aliyu, was in the comments, and he sort of like seemed very positive to the post. He didn't respond in which was mature. Because
Taye, who manages Yemi, also secretly behind closed doors, also feel just the same energy that I expressed here. That the female superstars do not get a quarter of the credit that they deserve.
True.
If you rewind back to about 3-4 years ago, no other artists in Africa, apart from Davido and Yemi Alade, had performed on as many stages across the continent and across the world.
Facts.
No other artists.
Facts.
In Africa.
Facts.
At that time, that year, I believe I could count over 79 stages from Lagos to Dominican Republic or something.
And they were touring across Europe as well.
Across Europe, everything.
Yemi Alade had the tour in France.
Yep.
I think it was a 3-city, 4-city tour in France.
4-city in France
Came
alone.
to the UK, went to other
Exactly.
countries.
So I'm sure when he saw the comment coming from T-Bills, it touched a nerve where, T-Bills is saying something. But again, like everybody else, when the other comment came in, where the name calling of the, your burners, and then he started to throw in the fact that he dropped his gun about 10 years ago and isn't scared to strap up.
Yeah, that post, he deleted it, so I'm sure he's probably seen it.
He must have thought it was quite early as well, because when I woke up in the morning, it was
the
probably
first thing I saw.
So it was 9 a.m. here in the UK. It was probably about 4 a.m. in America. So my brother was like maybe in his bed thinking, like, rock, these people taking the nick. One of them ones.
I know.
You wake up like 4 a.m., you're probably smoking a little something, you're sipping a little something, you're like, rock.
Nah, I'm not letting them.
I ain't letting this. You know what? Y'all better go.
I just woke up myself when I saw it, and I thought, maybe I'm still half asleep. Maybe that's why I don't get the post. So I left it. I said, I'll come. I even left Instagram because of that. I'll come back to it later and digest this one.
Nah, I think someone, like you said, somebody would have said something to him. He would have seen something, and his back just went up and thinking, what's good? And he even used some offensive words. Lil this, lil that, lil.
We don't even need to cover all of that.
I'm like, brother, woke up, my man pissed. Shout out to T-Bills.
It's 2021. We want peace and love.
But to be honest with you, I think all women within the music game, they need ride or die managers like that.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are going to be able to get your foot through the door, get you what you deserve. Facts. Because without those type of people saying, you know what? I don't care who you've got on this stage. My artist is just as good. Nobody's going to pay you no mind, though.
If your manager's not doing that right now,
fire them.
It might be time to change your management.
Facts. And on that note, we go over to Ghana, where it seems impossible for Shatta Wale not to make headlines every week. Now, this time, Shatta Wale was dragged into the headlines by a lady known as Aisha Modi, who made all sorts of allegations about Shatta's private life. Why she felt his partner Shatta Mishi left, and who she felt Shatta Wale was having relations with. Now, the sad part is that she is a close affiliate of Shatta's arch nemesis, Stonebwoy. making the story a bit more tricky, to be honest. Well, Shatta responded in the viral video where he called the lady all sorts of names, claimed he had a sex tape with the lady in it, that he would release it online if she didn't keep quiet. Also saying he would slap her when they eventually met. Well, not one to back down, Aisha Modi came back in a series of videos where she made further allegations about knowing who Shatta had threesomes with, as well as just being disrespectful to the Shatta movement boss. Now, this story in itself had more series in it than EastEnders. And if you don't know what EastEnders is, that basically is a TV show here in the UK.
It's been running longer than I've been alive.
It's been running for the past 30 years. When I saw the initial videos by this lady, Aisha, and the funny thing is, this is not the first time she's always been known to say things in the media in the past. A couple of weeks ago, we reported here that she had said something about one of the artists in Ghana that she invested about $40,000 or $50,000 in his career at the beginning, and when he became a superstar, he cut her off and he hasn't repaid her money, and she said she was dragging him to court. Fast forward to now, she's tearing into Shatta, and she thinks she knows everything. The reason behind Shatta. What are your thoughts about this story and when you saw it, man?
This is, like you said, it's another week, another Shatta story.
I'm telling
You know, Shatta is like he finds it hard to stay out of the news. And in this case, it's like the trouble came to look for him.
Absolutely.
He didn't go looking for it.
Absolutely.
You know, and like you said, this is someone that's known to, you know, have something to say about other artists. Now, should Shatta have ignored it or not responded? Well, the answer is usually yes. But knowing Shatta, this is...
But what about the people that said she went as well as started making allegations about Shatta being in relationships with his family members and stuff like that? Yeah. At a point, there gets to a point where you become angry and you want to say something because nobody believes the truth when the lies are more entertaining. The great Charlemagne the God says that. And if you keep quiet, people could start to believe some of the falsehoods that's coming from this lady.
Yeah, but Shatta responding, has that stopped us from talking about it? The answer is no. We're talking about it now. Has that convinced some people that that wasn't true? The answer is no. So, you know, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do I give this thing more energy? Or do I just ignore it?
Just let it go.
And just let them keep talking. Put out your statement and end it there. Coming on social media, ranting, you know, it's Shatta, we're used to it by now. But does that make it right? No. And of course, threatening to get physical, that is a red line.
That's one of the topics I wanted to speak about.
That is a red line.
Because he said in one of the videos that he would slap her if he eventually met her. Now, if you're an international entertainer, a superstar brand ambassador, who represents, you know, multiple a large section of saying such things, is just as bad as acting on it. And that in the Western world now, those type of allegations coming out of your own mouth, that's enough to get you blacklisted from coming into countries like the United Kingdom and the United States of America. And that's why people need to make sure that, you know, yes, you might be angry, you might be disappointed, but you have to make sure you watch your words carefully. You have to watch your actions carefully. Because Aisha is loving the attention, hence why she keeps going on Instagram Live, sharing videos.
She'll keep talking.
But how detrimental can this back and forth be to your brand and your career and your person? You know, making statements like that, and then when he also said the fact that he had, you know, allegedly had a sex tape of her and he was willing to release it online. In the UK, that's called revenge porn.
And that is a crime.
Gets you in prison.
Straight up. Straight up. First class tickets.
I'm telling you, when I heard that, it was like I was gasping for air. The minute he said, "Oh, he's gonna put a video out," I said, "What?" And then he said, "I will slap you." I said, "Oh my God."
Shatta. See, you know, when you're a brand, when you're an artist, a big time recording artist, the first thing you should always think about before you react to anything is what is at stake here. Don't even focus on whoever you're dealing with. focus on your career. What is at stake here? I think once you measure that, then you'll be able to deliver a more, measured, well thought out response. But when you go and start shooting from the hip out of anger, this is not the way to go. It can cost you everything. It can cost you everything. Now we're laughing about it. We're not even laughing about it, but we're talking about it here in a somewhat light tone. We might not even know the ramifications of this till maybe next month or next year.
Absolutely. When you try to go on tour.
And then it becomes, the industry hates me. No, the industry doesn't hate you. You did it to yourself. That's facts.
Wow. Well, we need to definitely make sure that we watch our words carefully, and you need to watch your hands carefully because the producer is going to kill you by banging on the table.
I will hit the mic. Don't worry.
Don't bang on the table too. Anyway, over to South Africa, where rapper Casper Nyovest's protege in Nadia Nakai appeared on Casper's arch nemesis, aka show called The Bri Show. Now, the show is basically the rap superstar, aka sitting down with personalities across the board whilst they talk into some barbecue in his home, of course, in South Africa, his beautiful house in South Africa. Well, this episode, being the season finale, features the incredible Nadia Nakai, who is signed to Casper Nyovest's family tree stable. Why this made headlines is because of the long history of beef between two rap icons from South Africa in AKA and Casper Nyovest. In the past, Nadia Nakai had said on her Instagram Live, when asked about possibly collaborating with AKA, she said it wouldn't happen because it might not get positive reviews, and she didn't think it was necessary for her career. However, in this promo clip of her appearance at AKA's crib, Nadia was asked by AKA if she was allowed to work with him, and Nadia responded, "Of course." This appearance, albeit a small thing, is being seen in some quarters as a sign that the long-lasting feud between the pair might be easing, whilst others think it's just the right thing to do, as Nadia shouldn't be in between the beef between her boss, Casper, and AKA. You and I have covered this story for years.
Multiple times.
This beef, AKA and Casper, along the Vector and MI beef, are probably two of the hottest rap beefs in Africa. And probably the longest feuds out there. First of all, what are your thoughts about Nadia appearing on AKA's show and, saying she'll be open to work with AKA? And what are your thoughts?
I think it's a brilliant move, for both AKA from a producing point of view or content point of view. It's definitely going to bring eyes. It's going to get people talking.
That catches attention.
So that was a really brilliant move. Nadia as well appearing on there, good look for her as well. And overall, it's a good look for the South African music industry in the sense that, everybody can play nice. We don't have to be friends, but we can still get together and do business. And for me, this is one personal thing for me. I don't like when people inherit beef.
It's the worst thing.
You are not cool with my label boss or my friend. So me and you can't record or do music.
It's the worst thing.
No, it shouldn't be like that.
It's the worst
Let's come, make music, and everybody go their certain ways. If it's successful, great. Everybody eats, everybody's happy.
Facts.
At the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what matters to Casper as a label boss, that his artist is bringing in numbers. So if that number will come from working with AKA, why not? You do it? So, I think that was really a good look. Then, like you said, AK and Casper, long-running feud. There's been times over the years where they've tried to, mend fences.
This year, we were supposed to get a boxing match.
See?
In April.
It's a lot of, we're trying to fence and then they go apart. And I think it was last year or 2 years ago, Casper said there's never be any peace.
That's why the boxing match is being put together. The contract has been sent apparently to AKA to sign the papers. It's crazy.
It is crazy. But good look for Nadia Nakai. Good look for AKA.
Absolutely.
And even good look for Casper for not interfering with that
relationship. And the thing is, first of all, big shout outs to AKA, who continues to stretch his hands into different parts of the business. Not only does he now own a plush club and restaurant in South Africa, he's also the brand ambassador of a vodka line in South Africa, Cruise Vodka. And now he had a partnership in the past with Reebok, I believe it is.
He had a partnership with Reebok. He had like a partnership with a mobile communications company?
Exactly, that he created an app where people can subscribe and pay some money. And now he also has a TV show called The Bryce Show. So AKA continues to show the young artists and up-and-coming artists of how far you could take your brand once you start to see a little bit of success in the music, which is the number one vehicle that got you there in the first place. And him venturing into other parts of the business and different sides of entertainment and just investing his money shows how clued up this young man is. And for me, I think he deserves a big shout-out. And again, I've said it to you before, I personally believe when it comes to a rap artist in Africa, I still pick AKA as my number one performing artist alongside Sarkodie.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. AKA is right up there among the best that we can,
if you
showcase
watch him live,
as a
if
continent.
you watch AKA live and you have the opportunity to also watch Sarkodie live, you don't have to know the songs. You fall in love with these performing superstars. And today, whilst I was just doing my research, I also watched AKA had a live performance on the roof of his house.
He did that during lockdown.
He did that during lockdown. And the song that I watched today was a completely different song to rap. If you follow kind of music coming from Africa, there's an album called Graceland by Paul Simon that was recorded in South Africa. So there's a song there called If You Be My Bodyguard, I Will Be Your Long Lost Back. AKA performed that.
I remember that.
Like,
brilliant. He did it really well.
It's cool. That's a rap guy performing a Grammy Award-winning song with so much class and entertainment. I watched the whole thing. I'm like, bruh, it's great to see.
Sometimes when I'm driving, I just play. There's a particular performance that he did. I can't remember. We spoke about it.
That
one a couple of years ago. I still play that.
Absolutely. The performance is called Touch My Blood. The live edition. So he performed that with his live band. You just have to go and Google that and watch that. It is one of the most incredible performances. It feels like it's a rehearsal with him and his band, and you just catch an incredible, vibe watching it. So for me, big shout outs to AKA, man. He's one of those guys that the young artists need to go and study to see where to take your art and how to develop your business and brand.
Very well said.
Yeah, now from AKA, we go over to the UK where earlier on Friday morning, a video went viral featuring UK rapper Ivorian Doll saying the lockdown has been bad for relationships and dating during quarantine is a scam. Well, she also said that London guys are not the ones to date. She went further by saying London boys only want something from you, which could be sex, amongst others. And they are not just the ones. Well, we're going to take a listen to that.
And I just feel like dating in lockdown again as well in quarantine is a bit of a scam, because I just feel like you can't really date no one because how they feel, I don't think it's real, only due to the fact that it's lockdown. I feel like boys are bored. I feel like boys as well are out here going to girls' house to house to house. I've tried it and I can't do it anymore. I'm actually done. I'm done. Like, I don't know. I feel like my boyfriend or my man is in another country. It is not in London. I'm sick of London boys. I'm tired of it. I just feel like they're very immature. None of them understand. Do you know what it is with boys, yeah? They have this.
Now, my brother, Ivorian Doll is echoing a lot of sentiments that a lot of young women have said in the past 1 year with regards to boys from London. You're one of those guys. So I'm guessing that...
Wow. Put us on the spot. Okay.
I'm guessing that, there's a consensus that you guys are not the ones.
Well, I will speak on behalf of all Londoners and say this. It has been bad on both sides. Lockdown has been a very difficult time for everybody.
Absolutely.
Lockdown has been lonely. And when people are lonely, you start to, give attention
to what is not
to
supposed
people
to be.
you normally not give attention to.
Facts.
And because we can't go on dates anymore, you have to either go to that person's house or they come to your house. So things are moving at a very accelerated pace. So it's one that's, you're supposed to meet in a restaurant and then if it goes well, now we're already at date 5 from date 1. So you don't even get to assess people properly. Next thing you know, you're professing love and feelings to each other. My sister was telling me days ago that her friend met somebody and moved in with the person during lockdown 1. I said, how? How? This is 6 months compressed into what?
2 weeks.
But that's what it is. That's what lockdown is doing to people. And then when you start to go into that relationship, you start to realize that, okay, this is not exactly what I thought it was. I don't really like this person. And, that's what's really happening. So I will say it's the London guys per se.
Yeah, baby.
It is your loneliness that has now pushed
allowed you to mingle with some of the guys that you shouldn't be mingling with.
And not pay attention to the things that you normally have paid attention to. It's tough out here in these streets. Shout out to the married ones. You don't know what you're missing. You don't know what you've missed. Or what the bullets you dodged.
Because the streets are crazy now.
It's crazy. The market is bad.
Wow. That's a madness. But listen, I'll be, I'm thinking differently. I'm looking at the young guys and young ladies out there, single people. I'm thinking this is the time for you to move around. Like, this is the time.
Ideally, so are you supposed to be moving around?
No, well, you're not quarantined. But what I mean,
stay at home.
But what I mean is, this guy is
club FaceTime, club, Insta DM. Stay there, keep it there.
Yeah, but another thing, I've heard a lot of girls say, "Oh man, don't DM me. If you DM me, that means you're not serious." Like, how are people supposed to?
In your comment section, so your boyfriend will see me. No, it can't work.
You see, that's the London attitude they're talking about, bro. Now, that's the London attitude that they're talking about. That's a shifty attitude from the beginning.
In the comment.
That means you already...
In the comment section.
First of all, that means you already know that this girl you're about to holler at, definitely she must have a situation.
No ring. She's on the market.
Okay, so are you one of those people that believe that...
I'm just
No,
here.
no. Wait. Are you one of those people that believes that once somebody's not officially married, they're still for the streets?
I believe that. They're fair game.
Is it?
Fair game. If they're not officially married, fair game. People change their mind on their wedding day. What are we talking about here? People have cold feet in the church and they walk away. So, my brother, shoot your shot. No ring, no husband in the background anywhere. Shoot your shot.
My grandmother once said,
straight up,
God rest her soul, she said, if you're not married, you are single.
Simple.
God damn.
Simple.
If you're not married, you are single.
Simple.
That's all.
Damn.
I think we should end it on that note.
Well, on that note, we're definitely gonna end that, and we head back to East Africa, where Tanzanian superstar Diamond Platnumz dropped a bombshell during an interview on Wasafi FM that he might have fathered 2 other kids in addition to the 4 he made public. The singer said that he might go public with his 2 other kids soon, as one was actually his first child, meaning his first daughter with Zari Hassan is not his first. The singer currently made public his 4 kids by 3 different women, but with this revelation, it makes him a father of 6.
Diamond.
It's looking like the musicians, they out here moving, bro.
I think that's the best way to put it. They are moving. They're active.
Do you think once you become a superstar, you become a celebrity, your options you have way more options, way more suitors. Should there be maybe a little sense of responsibility to protect yourself a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like you said, once you become successful, you have options. You have people you're not the one doing the chasing anymore. People, are the ones chasing after you, flinging themselves after you. But then you also have to ask yourself, what's reasonable here? Like 50 Cent once said in an interview, he doesn't accept every free advance that's thrown at him. You have to sort of filter. And I mean, if he wants to have as many children as he wants to have, he is free to.
He's free to
as long as he can continue support these children going forward.
He seems like one of those, business-minded entertainers in Africa. He owns Wasafi TV and radio, the biggest media platform in Tanzania. He owns the biggest record label in Tanzania with some of the most successful artists. He is arguably the biggest entertainer from East Africa.
Yep.
Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, all of those places put together. No monster bigger than Diamond Platnumz.
Yep.
But now he seems to be fathering 6 kids by maybe four or five different women. But if we look at that, it's still 2 or 3 shades down in comparison to Future, who has 10. Is it 10 baby mamas?
Yeah, I think somewhere around that figure.
Damn.
So,
So does that mean that every woman they get in bed with is lack of protection?
we are going down a very deep.
Bro, listen, it's National HIV Testing Week.
Very important.
And it's extremely important that we pass these messages that flinging it around willy-nilly without protection is also putting lives at risk.
Lives at risk, and your life as well.
Absolutely.
At risk. So,
So people need to be extremely responsible with their sexual relationships, their sexual partners, their sexual decisions, and listen and seeing people, do this sort of stuff. It kind of scares me a little bit because I'm thinking, so people are actually still out here being, to for lack of a better word, being that irresponsible.
It is. That's what it is out here on these streets. That's what it is out here on these streets. But like you said, we need to be more responsible. We need to also, weigh the consequences of our decisions. For you, I don't want to single out Diamond Platnumz.
No. Just talking generally now.
For you to have,
multiple
many
baby
kids,
mothers.
multiple baby mamas. We've seen this many times within multiple households. This kind of has a drop-down effect
Trust
on the
me,
kids.
we grew up in that situation.
Exactly. So
I grew
you
up
need
in
to think
Nigeria.
about these
We grew up in
consequences
that situation.
on the kids, not just on yourself as a father
You'll
or
be
as a mother.
lucky.
So, I mean, let's be a bit more considerate, more thoughtful in our approaches.
I'm from a polygamous background, and I'll just say that I'm one of the lucky ones to have come from a household that's really extremely together, and you would never see any type of family cracks that most polygamous households have. Yeah. And that is 1 in a million. I bet, I've come across a lot of people. I've come across a lot of people, friends and family, who are from the same sort of background, but they have completely different stories. And, like my dad says, funny enough, my father was like, what I got away with, I don't think anybody else will be able to get away with it.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you a funny story, and I'm sure my dad might not remember this, but when I was going to university, my dad called me and my brother into the room to have a manly conversation with us. So he sat us down, and he was like, his face was serious. And I thought maybe I got in trouble, because I got in trouble every single week. And he was like, so now you and your brother are going to university. Obviously you're both good-looking men, I'm looking at him like, what's this guy?
Where are we going with this?
And I was like, but university is very serious. You're going to have to focus on your education. And women, because you're good-looking, women will throw themselves at you. However, you have to focus on one girlfriend, just one girlfriend. I'm thinking, Dad,
He's talking from experience.
I'm like, my brother, not you, Jigga.
He's talking from experience.
I said, nah, Dad, no. But I was looking at my brother, and his face was straight. I'm like, is this guy for real? But we all stood there and said, yes, Daddy, yes, Daddy.
He knows what he was saying.
We walked out, we were like, nah, he should have called someone else to tell us that story. Come on, man, not you, brother. Yeah.
Sometimes it's best to listen to someone that's been through it.
But that's exactly the message he was trying to pass.
Yeah.
That, because I got lucky with it, don't mean anybody else will. And that's just the facts of the matter, that, we need to be, especially young black men, we need to be very, very responsible with, how we move and how we bring people into this world, and how we bring people, young kids, because they feel the consequences of the irresponsibilities of a father or a mother, but most of the time a father. Because we're the ones shooting around. Do you understand what I mean? But yeah, over to the USA, where the nominees for this year's NAACP Awards were announced on the 2nd of February. Tiwa Savage received 2 nominations in the Outstanding International Song category for Temptation of her 2020 album titled Celia. This song features British superstar singer Sam Smith, and Tiwa also receives the 2nd nomination alongside Nigerian singer Davido for the single titled Tanana of David's last album, A Better Time. Yep. Now, the 3rd Nigerian superstar to be nominated for an NAACP award is superstar boy himself, Wizkid, who picked up a nomination for his part in Brown Skin Girl from the Beyoncé's The Gift album. Now, the NAACP Image Awards is an annual awards ceremony created in the USA by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People to honor outstanding performances in film, television, music, and literature. The first award ceremony took place on the 13th of August, 1967, and this year's award, which is the 52nd NAACP award ceremony, will be taking place on the 27th of March and broadcast by BET. Other nominees include the likes of Buju Banton, Kofi, the list goes on to Beyonce, this is incredible for Africa.
Yep, big news.
This is amazing for
news.
Nigeria. This also represents what I've been preaching for quite some time, where Black America is now starting to embrace their brothers from the West Indies and from Africa as one.
Yep.
When you saw this nominees list released, what were your thoughts?
Just similar thoughts to you as well, which is that, the Black Americans or the Black American organizations have finally started to reach across the pond, reach across the ocean to embrace their brothers in Africa, their brothers in the West Indies. Big recognition for Tiwa Savage.
Huge.
2 nominations.
Big.
On both her album and Davido's album.
Big.
Interesting fact, that song, Tanana, is my favorite song on the album from Davido. And The Gift, that's an album, no pun intended, but that album is the gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely, especially to African creators.
To African creators.
Shout out to Beyonce on that one.
Shout out to Beyonce and all the creatives that worked on that album.
Facts.
Wizkid is just bagging nominations everywhere of that particular song.
I think he's also got a Grammy in the
Grammy nomination as well of that song as well. So I mean, it's really great news, and I'm happy to see it. The NAACP Awards is widely recognized in the United States of America. So I'll be very happy and proud to see Tiwa Savage pick up one of those nominations, or even maybe Davido and Wizkid as well.
Absolutely.
That would be really big news for the culture.
Yeah, it's a tough category, especially with the Tiwa Savage one. He has the likes of Buju Kofi, I believe, in that category. But apart from that, just as you said, the NAACP is an award ceremony that's known for celebrating Black excellence in America, and has done so for decades now. And now that they're stretching beyond the shores of the United States of America, we've seen Black British actors pick up awards in the past, and personalities pick up awards in the past from the NAACP, but now stretching into Africa and picking the likes of Davido and Tiwa Savage and Wizkid just starts to lift people's eyes into
what's happening down there.
Absolutely. And again, it allows for the Black American experience to now start to think about the African experience and their brothers and sisters in the West Indies and all of these other places, and to recognize that, once you're Black, you're from the motherland, So, for me, it's great. Yvonne Orji was also nominated, the Nigerian-American comedian. She also got a nomination. She got a nomination for, I believe it's her special. She had a a stand-up special last year
Oh, brilliant.
that documented her return back home to Nigeria. It had her parents in there and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So the melting pot is starting to...
Stirring it's cooking.
Exactly.
It's smelling really good.
It's smelling really good, and I'm super excited. So shout outs to Davido, Wizkid, and Tiwa Savage for bagging that nomination. And finally, this might put you on the spot, but what would you like to recommend? This is a brand new segment where we recommend something. Maybe it's a movie, a song, whatever that's come out in recent
You're
times.
actually putting me on the spot
exactly.
right now.
What has caught your attention?
But I love the new album by Joe Boy. No, not Joe Boy. What's his?
Who's that? Fireboy?
Fireboy.
You like it?
Yeah, I think it's great. You don't like it?
Okay. I've said this a couple of times, but I'll say it again. I believe the Fireboy album is fantastically produced.
Yeah.
Incredibly written,
vocally
impeccable,
but
the target audience was wrong.
Why would you say that?
Because it was more, it was 17 songs, is it?
Yep.
17 songs with 15 pop records that were targeting LA or maybe New York. If that album was a proper follow-up to the classic debut he had, it would have made a different impact on the industry.
I get what you mean.
Simple, you know, and hence why I'm always happy to ensure that I talk about the writing, the production, the singing. Everything on that record was fantastic, apart from the target audience.
So you're speaking from
Afrobeats, Afro head.
From the culture head point of
Facts.
view. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Then.
Yeah.
But from
quality,
listening experience,
from quality.
Yeah, I mean that album was really well produced, well written.
Absolutely.
And it proves once again that Fireboy has the ability to write great songs.
Oh, without a doubt. I think coming into the game with LTG in the first place is something that very few Afro pop musicians ever had. Not that many people came out of the gate with a classic debut. You know, you're looking at the likes of Ice Prince, you're looking at the likes of Wizkid, you're looking at just a few number of people to have done that. So for him to have done that, coming out of the gate, that puts him on a level where instantly the expectations are high.
Very high.
So the follow-up album, obviously, you've earned a follow-up album that you can do what you like. But Fireboy, the next album gotta be back to what you do best, my brother.
I'd love to see how the numbers look on this album.
The numbers will be
in
good.
The next couple of weeks.
I'll tell you why the numbers will be good. He had an Empire distribution. Had some great placements with FIFA and all of those stuff. I'm a Champion was a record that was picked up by Bayern Munich, picked up by FIFA 2020. So straight away the numbers will be great. But we also know that numbers don't basically translate to the reach of an album.
Of course.
Because we know what these placements do. Those playlists on Spotify and Apple.
I'm plugging.
We know what all that does. But for me, what I'll suggest this week is very simple. It's a brand new record by Kiddy featuring Kwame Eugene and Pato Rankin. I think it's titled Supernatural. It's the first record. Kiddy has now signed almost like a joint kind of venture that has Empire in the works in America and another platform in America. So it looks like Kiddy, coming from Lynx Entertainment in Ghana, they're about to throw him
on
into
the international stage.
Absolutely. And again, a lot of us have been fans of Kiddy for quite some time. So this looks like an amazing step up. And the video definitely looks like something that they spent a lot more money in because, bro, during this quarantine, I don't know how they got through with that. But shout outs to Kiddy, Kwame Eugene, and Pato Rankin, who, of course, is having an amazing run at the moment, collaborating with everybody under the sun. And that's just great for him. And that wraps up this edition of Adesope Live, the official Afrobeats podcast with my brother, Damola, a.k.a. Mr. Schmooze, a.k.a. the gentle guy that runs things behind the scene, a.k.a. the London brother that's moving around in quarantine, if you know what I mean.
Thank you, Energy God. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure being on the podcast.
Absolutely. And shout outs to everybody else for supporting Afri Media Studios, obviously Afro Scene TV, Ayo Maurice, the entire crew, Sheyi Kola. Always catch us here, the same time, same place next week. And make sure you share, like, comment, and subscribe to the Afrobeats Podcast. Until next time, it is peace and we're out.
You don't shackle to it?
No. We don't shackle to that.
Right. Right.